Hey everyone. So, it wasn't that long ago when you needed your parents for everything. Now you're developing your own interests, opinions, and ideas. You're stretching out your independence. You're starting to question what people tell you as you figured out what's important to you and what your values are, right? So, not long ago, an exciting Friday night might have been going to the movies with your mom or dad. Now you might not even want to be seen in public with your parents. How many of you would rather spend your free time with your friends? Probably a lot of you, right? What is it about your friends that you enjoy? Good. So, many of the friends you have today, you met by chance because they live in your neighborhood or your building. Maybe you met them in school. Friendships can begin with a chance meeting and shared interests, but only some friendships continue over time. Why is that? Right. So people can change over time. You develop new interests. Maybe you just grow apart, right? So, what are the benefits of a great friendship when life is going well? Good. So, our friends encourage us to be the best we can be, right? Our friends want the best for us. They share our joys. They support and encourage us, right? What are the benefits of great friendships when life is a little bit tough? Yeah, so they listen to us, they have our back, they accept us, they cheer us up, and tell us the truth. Healthy friendships make us stronger by building our confidence and making life more fun. However, just because you have common interests doesn't mean that a person will have other good friend qualities. When you meet someone, it takes time to get to know them. You don't learn everything about them all at once. Dating can present a similar challenge. Whether your relationship is a friendship or something more romantic, you want to find someone who has qualities that match yours. If you could design a relationship, what qualities would you want to include? So here's some that I have put up. So we have dependable, fun, respectful, adventurous, good listener, accepting, loyal, responsible, patient, understanding, happy, kind, selfless, trustworthy, sense of humor, and helpful again. So, what qualities would you not stand for in a relationship? Here's some examples. So, lying, selfish, risky behavior, gossiping, unkind, bullying, being used, conflict, and doesn't listen, right? So, what do we feel when we are in unhealthy relationships? Right, so we might feel frustrated, sad, angry, helpless, confused, right? Relationships are constantly evolving. We need to periodically evaluate how they're working. If we don't address unhealthy behaviors or characteristics right away, they can slowly chip away at our self esteem and individuality. Sometimes pointing out the problem to the other person is all it takes. The other person might not even realize what they're doing. Consider the following scenario. Sarah and Erica are friends. Sometimes Sarah puts Erica down. She says things like, "Why are you wearing that hideous shirt? You sure don't know how to dress." Or, "What happened to your hair?" Or, "If you didn't have me, you wouldn't have any friends." At first, Erica thought, "Oh, well, that's just Sarah. She can be cruel, but she doesn't mean it." After a while, though, Erica started wondering if Sarah really felt that way. Erica didn't like how Sarah's words made her feel, but she didn't want to lose that friendship. She decided that if Sarah was a true friend, she should stop putting her down. Erica confronted Sarah, saying, "You really hurt my feelings when you constantly put me down. I need a friend who is encouraging and supportive." Sarah was surprised because she didn't even realize what she was doing. Sarah immediately apologized and said she would stop putting her down. So once Erica identified her feelings and the source of her unhappiness in the friendship, what did she do about it? Right, so she told Sarah how she felt. She used her emotional intelligence to identify her feelings and her assertive communication skills to communicate those feelings to her friend. Communicating what you feel and what you need from a friend is often the same thing our friends need. They want the friendship to stay intact just as much as you do, only they may be too frightened or insecure by what they feel. Feel confident to stand up for yourself and express what you need in relationships. So how many of you have experienced peer pressure? Maybe some of you, right? It can be difficult to know what to do when someone's trying to coerce you into doing something. Knowing effective peer refusal strategies will help you if you find yourself in a risky situation and need to get out quickly. Let's see if you can identify the 9 strategies used in a rebus puzzle. Open your workbooks to page 11 to the section titled Pressure Points. A rebus is a puzzle of pictures, letters, numbers, and words that together formulate a word, phrase, or saying. I'm going to put you guys into pairs. So when solving your rebus puzzle, consider what the images sound like when said aloud. Sometimes the picture will represent the entire word. For others, multiple images will form a word. After you solve each puzzle, write down the solution in your workbook. So let's solve the first one together. So the clue is the letter S plus hey minus the H. What does that make? Right, it makes say, right? So the next picture is a note minus the TE. What word is that? Exactly. So the first peer refusal strategy is say no. Write down say no in your workbook. There's a brief description of each strategy above the rebus puzzle. So guys, right now I want you to go ahead and pair up and go ahead and work out this rebus puzzle, and then we'll go over them together, okay? I'll give you guys about 5 minutes to do this, okay? All right, so let's review your answers. What did you guys get for strategy number 2? Good. So it's walk away. If a peer pressure situation is complex, you can walk away from it. How about strategy number 3? Good. So that one is ignore. Don't debate or speak with the person pressuring you. Just pretend you don't hear them. What strategy suggests coming up with a better thing to do? Good. A better idea. So what is strategy number 5? Right. It's make an excuse. Think of something reasonable that you need to do, like homework or chores, to get out of the peer pressure situation. How about strategy number 6? How can you avoid the peer pressure situation altogether? Good. So you can steer clear. If you know a situation is dangerous or too risky, don't go anywhere near it. What's strategy number 7? It's a broken record. Choose a statement like, I don't want to, and repeat it over and over until the person stops pressuring you. What's the name of the strategy that puts the pressure back on the person that pressures you? Reverse the pressure, right? Say something like, if you were my friend, you wouldn't pressure me to do something I don't want to do. What is strategy number 9? State the facts. Very good. Refuse the pressure by stating the reasons why the behavior or activity is unhealthy, unsafe, or just simply a bad idea. So, how many of you have been in a situation where no one tried to persuade you to do anything, but you did something you knew you shouldn't just to fit in or to be accepted? Have you guys ever done that? This self-inflicted pressure is often the result of peer influence. We can let the actions of others influence our behavior if we don't stop to think about what we truly want to do and consider the consequences. Let's consider an example of this idea. Suppose you decide to get a mohawk haircut because the kids you want to hang out with are all talking about how cool it is. You really don't want a mohawk because you don't really like the look, but you do it anyway. Who made the decision for you to get the mohawk? You did, right? Why'd you make the decision? Exactly, you wanted to fit in. Suppose then that after you got the mohawk, you realized that no one else actually planned to get one. They were just talking about it. So here you are with a mohawk that you didn't really want, and now you're embarrassed. Did you really have to get the mohawk in order to hang out with these friends? No, right? Sometimes we put a great deal of pressure on ourselves. Often we assume that our friends have certain expectations of us, when in reality, they're much more concerned about themselves and what others think of them. So we've learned several management strategies to help us cope when we find ourselves in the midst of a relationship dilemma. Turn to page 12 in your workbooks to the section titled Peer Predicaments. I want you guys to read each scenario and determine how you would manage the friendship. Write your answers in the space provided. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to do this, okay? All right, guys, let's talk about what you wrote for scenario 1. So for this one, Edgar carefully examined his friendship with Ken and realized that he felt used. We all want to be liked for who we are, not for what we have or what we can do for another person. What about scenario number 2? Good. So good relationships are based on honesty, and Mandy knew she had to tell Joel how she felt. If she didn't, she would have had to give up her friends, and Mandy knew that was not acceptable. What about scenario 3? Which peer refusal strategy would you use in this situation? Good. So a true friend won't try to pressure you to do something that you don't think is right. A real friend would encourage you to study hard and reach your goal. It's great to make the effort to keep our friendships and relationships intact, but sometimes friendships change. It's up to us to make the hard choices about whether or not a friendship is worth keeping. So to practice these skills we learned today, we are going to get into groups and play a game called the Buddy System. So in the game, you will find yourself in various predicaments and in need of a friend. Your friends will be there to offer support. The object of this game is to be the friend with the most gift cards. Each player will take a turn being the friend in need. You will read a scenario to your group, and each player will select the most appropriate gift card for the situation from their hand. The gift the friend in need chooses will determine the winner of that round. If the friend in need selects your card, put it next to you face up in order to track how many you are earning. Each player must always have 5 cards in their hand. Use the formula on the instruction card to determine how many gift cards you need to win according to your group size. If there's time, you may play the game more than once. All right, teachers, so I'm going to need you to put the students into groups of 3 to 5, and they'll each need a deck of scenario cards, a deck of gift cards, and an instruction card. I'll give you guys about 10-15 minutes to play this game, okay? Healthy relationships require trust and confidence in our friends. Did you feel your friends were there to help you out in the game? Yeah, good. How did you determine the best way to help your friends in the game? Right, so you listened to them, thought about how it would feel if you were in the same situation, try to think about how to best help them through their problem, right? So this game is a quick and fun way to illustrate the roles we play as friends. The skills you put to work here are the same skills you need in dating relationships too. Your emotional management skills, effective communication skills, and your social awareness skills will help you to make and keep strong and healthy relationships throughout your life. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about good qualities in friends today, and I can't wait to see you guys next week.